also misery, it's no mystery. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy when we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry.
What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back. We're back with the vlog style videos, and there is good reason I want to start a new series. As you may know, if you follow my Instagram, you'll know that I'm currently bulked up a little bit in size. I'm actually weighing in at 90 kilos, which is pretty much the heaviest I've ever been on this whole calisthenics thing. Haven't gained too much fat. I'm pretty much as lean as I was beforehand, but the only issue with this, because I am pretty tall, I'm 192 centimeters tall, that weight really does affect my performance. So the idea here is to go from 90 kilos down to 86, maybe 87 kilos. In terms of the method and the techniques that I'm going to be using, that is the point of these vlogs, is to share the process, share what I'm thinking and why I'm doing certain things, so you guys can take it away. Let me give you a little bit more context to this program. Welcome to Bodyweight Cutting episode 1. In terms of what I want to achieve on this series, primarily it is about cutting weight. I want to go from 90 to 87 kilos. But this is also going to help me achieve these goals. First is the planche. I want a 3-second pike straddle. Second is the one arm chin up. I want to re-achieve 1 rep per arm. Third is the handstand push up. I want to get a consistent 1 rep, full range of motion. And then finally, the one arm handstand is kind of a side goal that I'm working on at the moment. But episode 1, what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be setting down the basics, and we're going to be talking about training. So today I've got a simple bent arm fasted workout. Let's jump into it. As I'm fasted, I'm taking a pre-workout of an oxalate multivitamin, some extra stevia, creatine, and essential amino acids. Just want to mention a few things while I'm warming up here. This series is going to be so much more than just training. We're going to be talking about nutrition, we're going to be talking about recovery, all the aspects of what makes us perform better. But the reason I wanted to start with it as a training focused episode is that essentially this is why I'm cutting down weight. I want to perform better and achieve my goals, and strength to weight ratio is going to be key for me here. As I said, I am 192 centimeters tall, so this is a disadvantage to some extent when it comes to body weight training, and it means that I have to be focused with where I keep my weight at. So for me, I need to keep it down towards that 87 kilos to really re-achieve the one arm chin up, the handstand push up, and the planche. So today I want to set some levels and base levels of strength to then compare as I progress through this series. We're starting off today with some heavy weighted dips. We're doing 50 kilos, so this would be almost 60% of my body weight, and we're shooting for 4 reps. I really like the weighted dip simply because it's such a foundational exercise when it comes to pushing strength. It has a good transfer over into the planche, and I've also found it really useful for building up general pushing strength for the handstand push-up in the past. This is now the final set that you're watching, and you'll see how much of a grind the last couple of reps are. It'd be nice to maintain this level of strength despite dropping weight, but hopefully we should be able to increase it. I'm pairing these weighted dips with some weight-assisted one-arm chin-ups. Shooting here for 2 reps per arm, and I'm actually taking about a 30-second rest between arms. Here I'm using 10 kilos of assistance. It wasn't overly challenging, but it also wasn't the easiest, so it was about the right weight to use. This is very similar to something like a mantle chin-up. However, because we've got the weight on a pulley, it makes it much more quantifiable. So I can really easily see that I need 10 kilos of extra assistance here to achieve the one arm chin-up, well, if I'm going to lose 3 kilos of body weight, you know, it's already going to take it down, plus strength gains. It'd be really interesting to see how this particular exercise changes. Overall though, this actually felt pretty strong. I've only been doing weighted chin-ups. I haven't been doing any unilateral work for the past few weeks, so it's interesting to test my one-arm chin-up strength. After that, we jumped into another unilateral movement, and we're going for archer push-ups here. The reason I chose this was that not only does it have a solid pushing element, but it also has a bit of a straight arm conditioning for moves like the planche as well. It's also just one of my favorite pushing exercises, just because it's one of those ones that just feels really good to actually perform, especially when you get that squeeze at the top of the rep in the rings. My pushing strength, as I've mentioned in previous episodes of training vlogs, is definitely one of my weak points. It's significantly weaker than my pulling strength, I think, and I'm not sure that's like kind of how I'm genetically disposed towards training. I think I'm naturally stronger in that pulling movements, maybe from a swimming background. So I'm really working hard to increase my pushing strength as a focus in every single one of my training sessions. I'm pairing these archer push-ups with archer rows. Archer rows are actually one of those exercises that I've discovered, and it's been really useful for developing the one-arm chin-up. A lot of one-arm chin-up training is extremely high intensity, so it's nice to be able to throw in a one-arm movement that actually really benefits the one-arm chin-up, but it is at a much lower intensity, so you can perform 4 reps instead of just like 1 to 2 reps at near sort of max effort. Personally, I find this exercise better with bent legs rather than straight legs, as when you're moving from side to side, you can kind of lose your stability a little bit. However, you need to find an intensity that works for you. With both the push-ups and the archer rows, I'm going for 4 to 5 reps per side. Then we move on to some prehab sort of exercise, and we're using Cuban rotations as our external rotation exercise. This also has a huge transfer over into the planche, but is also just really great for keeping the shoulders healthy and really strengthening that external rotators. I'm not sure what the weight I'm using here is. I think it might be 15 kilos, but I prefer to do these seated just to kind of try to maintain more of a neutral spine, and I can really focus on the exercise in my shoulders rather than it being a full body sort of movement. We're pairing those Cuban rotations with these kind of like straight bar lat pullovers. The main focus with these lat pullovers though is not for any mass gain benefits. It's mainly as kind of a loaded stretch on the lats, but it's also good at targeting the tricep. I may have mentioned before that my pushing strength is weak, but in particular my triceps are actually quite weak and definitely out of proportion in comparison to my biceps. So I'm trying to build them up at the end of each of my training sessions. One way I'm doing this is with these lat pullovers, but they also have the bonus of that active lat flexibility. Because I'm performing it on a box with my knees up, this is also preventing me from arching my lower back to compensate for my shoulders. I'm then performing this for 10 reps with a 10-second hold on the last rep. After that, I'm pairing it with these overhead tricep extensions. As I said, the triceps are definitely a weakness for me, and this overhead position is going to help transfer over into the handstand push-up. This is probably one of my favorite actual tricep exercises. It just feels really solid, and again, you kind of get a loaded stretch on the lats. For all of these exercises, I was shooting for 8 reps, or in the case of the lat pullovers, 10 reps with the 10-second pause for each of them, and we're keeping the rest periods pretty short between these, kind of like 30 seconds. So the last 2 of the lat pullovers and the tricep extensions almost feel like a superset on the triceps, which is good, again, for that mass hypertrophy benefit that I'm trying to build up my triceps with. Then we moved on to a little bit of handstand work at the end of the session. Usually I recommend adding this at the beginning of your session if you can, but I only had like 5 minutes and I wanted to make sure I had enough time to smash my workout as the primary focus. And it just so happened that I had 5 minutes at the end and I thought I'd do a little bit more hand balancing, really focusing on my body line. I've still got some issues with my kind of hips hanging over my shoulders, but this is being caused through poor shoulder mobility. Again, this is a large focus for me at the moment, but more as in terms of my mobility work than my actual main training sessions.
But that has been it for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this fasted, simple training session. It's now 1 o'clock. I need to go home, get some food. But as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. Leave a comment, leave your opinion down below, join the conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have a friend who you think would enjoy this series, then please share it with them. But that has been it for today, guys. Have a strong week and peace.
Yeah.